Welcome back, Warriors. Torridge the Warrior here, and today we're going to talk about burst damage and our sort of opener at the beginning of a fight and why it's important. So when we first start a fight, this is when we are likely to have our most multipliers. Recklessness and Skull Banner is probably the best example. So if you use Recklessness on its own, you get 30% extra crit, more crits, more damage. That's good. If you use Skull Banner on its own, your crits do 20% more damage. That's good. We crit a lot. However, used together, you get more crits that are doing more damage, and they're multiplied. It's a 2 + 2 = 5 situation. Although that wouldn't be multiplication, it would be 2 times. Never mind. Anyway, you see what I mean. Now, at the start of the fight, not only do we have all of our cooldowns ready to go, but this is also when most of our item procs are probably going to go off. Because if we look at our Foxtail Tip and our Evil Eye of Galacrus, we have they have their internal cooldown. So this one's got a 55 second, this one's got a 115 second, but that's their internal cooldown. So those are always going to be reset when the fight starts. So having them both proc at the same time, as well as your Dancing Steels, which are likely to go off then, and if you're an engineer, you've got your little gauntlet thing that you can set off right then as well. So that's really the time where you're going to have the most force multipliers going at the same time as well. This is also when we often Bloodlust and Stormlash. So the beginning of the fight is where we have, there's more likely to be more multipliers than there is in almost any other part of the fight. So this is why how we do our opener is extremely important to our DPS throughout the entire fight. Even though it is only about 10 seconds, 10 to 12 seconds, it's really going to set the framework for how we're going to do throughout the rest of the fight. And it's pretty hard to catch up if you don't really have a good opener. So to talk about the opener, let's look at our bar here that we have set up. There we go. So this is typical of how our rotational burst damage is going to go. We have our Bloodthirst followed by Colossus Smash. Always Bloodthirst, Colossus Smash, never Colossus Smash, Bloodthirst. And then followed by our Stormbolt. So that's just, you always want to, especially if you have the trinket, you can Stormbolt every Colossus Smash. If you don't have a good one, so it's less than 20 seconds, or more than 20 seconds rather, then you're going to want to hold off on Colossus Smash until you have a Stormbolt ready. If you don't have the trinket, then just every other Colossus Smash is going to have the Stormbolt. And then every other one other than that will just be with a regular old Raging Blow in there. So here with our trinket, we've got our Bloodthirst, Colossus Smash, Stormbolt, Bloodthirst, and then Raging Blow combo. So this is assuming that we've got both of these Bloodthirst critting to get both of these Raging Blow procs, or that we have a Berserker Rage on backup in order to get both of them. Of course, sometimes you get stuck putting a Wild Strike here in this last spot, but ideally we won't be doing that. Now, at the start of a fight, we have Recklessness going, which means that this, not only are these Bloodthirsts pretty much guaranteed to crit at that point, but this Colossus Smash is also very, very likely to crit. So we have our Bloodthirst, our Colossus Smash, and we've already got 2 Raging Blow procs. Then we hit our Stormbolt, and we hit our Bloodthirst again, which is also going to crit, which wastes one of our 2 procs. So this is one of the few times that it's good to skip a Bloodthirst and just hit our Bloodthirst, Colossus Smash, Stormbolt, and 3 Raging Blows. So this is how our burst is going to look during a Recklessness Skull Banner combo. Now, at the beginning of the fight, there's even another thing that we change. So we just started the fight, and these trinkets here, they have they're reset, so they're likely going to proc early on, but they don't have a guaranteed chance to go off. They're 15%, which you're going to be attacking a lot really fast with all the crazy stuff going on. They're very likely to proc instantly. However, it can be beneficial here to just sort of set back our Stormbolt a little bit. You'll have to do some realigning later. You'll probably have to wait on your second Colossus Smash a little bit for Stormbolt to come back, but it's good to sort of hold on to that Stormbolt for a little bit to give those trinkets a chance to proc. However, I don't recommend putting the Stormbolt as the last global under the Colossus Smash, and this is because Stormbolt actually does have spell fly time, so it travels through the air. So if you have boss where its hitbox is like really high up on the boss and it takes a second for it to get there, for the actual Stormbolt to travel there, then there's a chance that it goes off and actually hits the boss without the Colossus Smash debuff on it. So you always want to not have it last. Now, one last thing here that we also want to put in is our Dragon Roar. So we're holding back our Bloodthirst yet a little bit longer, And here's the reason for this. This is usually when our, right after this global here is when our skull banner goes away. And although Dragon Roar kind of really doesn't benefit very much from Recklessness because it's guaranteed crit anyway, or but it doesn't benefit at all from Recklessness, then Dragon Roar, which will always crit, gets the 20% damage bonus from our skull banner. Also, it's also still going to be getting all of the damage bonuses from our trinket procs, which is why we don't put it before the initial Bloodthirst. So this Dragon Roar is going to hit really, really hard. And another reason we don't put Bloodthirst there is because Bloodthirst is, I mean, at high levels of crit, I'm rolling with what? 40% crit chance, so in a raid, 45 minus 3 for dampening, so 42, basically 43% chance to crit, so that gives me like an 86% chance to crit with Bloodthirst. Bloodthirst might as well be a guaranteed crit at this point anyway. So you have two abilities that are pretty much always going to crit no matter what, and one of them does a ton more damage than the other. Also, we don't have to worry about our Enrage falling off, because here we've got our Bloodthirst, Colossus Smash, 2 Raging Blows, and then to get this third Raging Blow we're using our Berserker Rage, so we're guaranteed Enrage from that, so we don't have to worry about our Enrage falling off here either. Now, before we go ahead and give this a shot, let's talk about a couple things we're going to do before the pull. So before the pull, we are going to, so if your tank is not giving you a countdown, your tank really should be giving you a countdown. It's very important, not just for warriors, but for a lot of classes. It's very important to time the start of a boss pull with a countdown. So at about 5 or 6 seconds, we can go ahead and hit our battle shout. If you wait too long, I think it's like 10 seconds after battle shout. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, okay, so 5 seconds after battle shout is when our rate starts to tick back down. So at 4 or 5 seconds on the countdown timer is when we're going to want to hit our battle shout. Then at about 3 seconds is when we're going to want to hit our Potion of Mogu Power, which if you're not pre-potting, you really should be pre-potting. Pre-potting is a huge damage increase. It basically lets you still use your potion for your execute phase, which is huge. And for your burst phase at the start of a fight, which is also huge. Those are the 2 times you're going to be doing more damage than any other time in the fight. So those are the times if you can potion for both of them, that's a very, very big damage boost there. And at 25-second duration, you're going to have it for all of your burst. So we hit our potion, and the reason why we don't hit our potion 1 second before is because we're going to want to channel Shattering Throw if we can. Now, not only does this help you, but this is a huge help for anyone who's doing physical DPS in your raid. Warriors are the only ones that can put this debuff on. I have not been able to figure out if it stacks with Colossus Smash 100% for sure. If anyone actually knows, please let me know in the comments. I have no reason to believe that they don't. I know back in the days of Armor Pen, if you had 100% Armor Pen, Shattering Throw would put things in the negative, giving you bonus damage. But again, I'm not 100% sure that it still does that. Regardless, we still want to use it here just because everyone else will benefit from it. So all of your rogues, all of your hunters, all of your death knights, everyone who does physical damage is going to get a boost to their damage by hitting Shattering Throw. And we want to hit this pretty much right after we take our potion. We're going to hit it at probably at 1 second. So right when the pull happens, we're going to throw that. We don't want to throw it too early because we obviously don't want to hit the Shattering Throw before the tank hits the boss. That would be bad, and has happened before and is embarrassing, so we want to avoid that. So immediately after our Shattering Throw goes off, and thank God they took away the rage cost for this at the opening, because that used to be a problem, we are going to charge in, giving us our extra rage. And now at this point we've gotten rage from Battle Shout, and we've also gotten rage from our charge. And the first thing we're going to do on the boss after we drop all of our cooldowns, we're going to hit Recklessness and Skull Banner immediately. If you have multiple warriors, you can kind of set up a Skull Banner rotation. It works for everyone. Alright, so we've talked about it plenty now. Let's give it a shot. So we're going to, I'm going to slow it down here real fast. This isn't going to be, alright, you know what, let's just go ahead and go. And then I'll slow it down, and we'll see how we can explain it here. So let's just go ahead and focus. And we hit it right away there, but we had all of our procs going, so that was alright. So that was a good one. I think we peaked at almost 900,000 DPS there. So, and we did almost 11 million damage to the boss in about 10 seconds. And one more thing to talk about during this burst. So if we go back and look at the rage here, we used our battle shout, we used our charge. We started off with a bloodthirst that enrages and gives us rage. We used a Colossus Smash, which also enraged us and doesn't cost any rage on its own, also reducing the rage cost of everything else after it because of the 2-piece set bonus. So the only thing we're spending rage on is raging blows that are basically only costing us 5 rage apiece. So we're spending a total of 15 rage on our rotation here, which means that you can just mash the crap out of Heroic Strike during all of this. And indeed, we had our 5 Heroic Strikes in there under Colossus Smash, so we got, in the Recklessness, we got 4 crits in one hit, doing like 273k a piece. And even look here, to give us a good example of how many multipliers we have stacking up during this, here's our maximum melee swing hit for 283k. And let's see what we hit like normal. So normal hit, 24k. Glancing, alright, that didn't count. So 67 crit. That's a huge increase. Okay, let's slow it down and break it down. Okay, so we start off with our battle shout, then we immediately go into our potion here, and we channel our shattering throw. Now this is going to take some practice to get the timing just right. It's a little tricky. You just need to really know your tank and have a countdown timer for it. So as soon as the shattering throw goes off, we hit our charge, and we immediately drop our Recklessness and our Skull Banner. Then right after that we hit our Bloodthirst, which is guaranteed to crit. Then we here normally we hit our Colossus Smash there, which is also very likely to crit. So they do both crits. We are in that situation where we want to use our Stormbolt. And ideally here we would have used our Raging Blow first, but I forgot, and muscle memory, all that shenanigans. Well, it didn't matter, we did get both of our trinket procs, so we did get a 2 million plus Stormbolt there. So we then go on with our Raging Blows, mashing Heroic Strike all the way, and we hit our Berserker Rage there to get that last Raging Blow in, followed by the finisher here, which is the Dragon Roar. Now that Dragon Roar hit 2 targets there because you can't get further enough away from the other dummy, but that still is a 500k Dragon Roar there, the crit. And I think this entire time, for most of that burst, we were at about 800,000 DPS or more. So you can see how in a raid with full buffs and Stormlash and Bloodlust and all that shenanigans going off, you could easily break 1 million DPS with your opener as a Fury Warrior. So that's how your burst is supposed to go. You should be able to segue right in from there to your normal rotation, and we'll hold a little clip of that at the end here. But other than that, that's all I had to talk about today. So if you have any comments, please let me know. If you want to know when these videos go up, you can go ahead and follow me on Twitter. And if these guides help you out, I would really like if you subscribe to my channel, as well as, tell any other warriors that are having some trouble or struggling, and send them my way, send them to this channel. And as always, if you have any questions, comments, or corrections for any of my videos, please don't be shy. Go ahead and leave a comment or send me a message. In fact, this video today about the burst, I was actually doing my burst wrong, and it was in a comment that I was brought to my attention. So thank you for that. And now there's a video and everyone else benefits from it. So that's how that's supposed to work, and I will see you guys next time.